Hello, and welcome to Free Shipping, the podcast. Here is your host, Ryan McNally.
Hello, and welcome to Free Shipping, the podcast, where we deliver pertinent, topical information, spanning the bouquet of tools that you use at your office, to topics such as workplace culture.
Season 1, Episode 1, Power Lines.
Let's get on to it. This is the first episode, so we're kind of excited to launch this. This is a production from Wilson's Office Supply. Do your office a favor and make the switch to Wilson's. I think you'll be glad you did. Go to wilsonsos.com/switch and you receive your first order of $75 or more at 20% off. Plus, you'll get the weekly bonus gift that we are starting up too. This week's bonus gift is steno pads. So come on over, sit down, and this week I'll be talking about our first episode, power lines. The power of a steno pad. Why would we ever go back to use a notebook, a steno pad, or a journal? It just doesn't make much sense, right? For starters, using the cloud enables you to sync all of your information across your devices. So that's huge. When you can type something out on one piece of digital paper and automatically pull it up on another device or send it to the printer, that's big, that's efficient, that's what you need, especially when that's your job. So you want to do the most efficient things that help you in order to help those whom you're serving. For those of you who may not know, the cloud, for starters, enables you to sync all of your information across your devices, okay? It's similar to the term internet, but it's really different in that people might refer to the cloud because it's the software or the services that can be accessed by the internet. So for instance, Google Docs. It's one that I use a lot. It's a cloud-based word processor, and it's offered by Google. You can type out and you can save a document or an Excel sheet without taking up that storage space on your computer. You're not holding onto that storage space, but what you just typed up and made, it's in the cloud. It's in Google's, basically their framework, their storage, where we have the ability to access the internet. That saved document you can also access. What's even more is that you can pull that document up, right? You can pull that up anywhere, but you can also share that document easily to another coworker for them to read over or to edit, to add comments to. You can see the edits or comments that they've made. Contrast in a non-cloud-based word processor. For instance, you would save that document to your computer storage. This would put some speed bumps between you and your coworker. You would save it in a format which the recipient can open, attach in an email, send it, and wait for them to receive it. From there, you could edit and comment, but then they'll need to email your edited document back to you. And you can begin to see how a cloud-based system works more seamlessly and effortlessly. So let's talk about another reason that we would be pro-digital. Using digital paper helps create little receipts, basically, of everything you've done. So whether it's from email or what have you. So when you're finished with the draft of a proposal, for instance, and you forward it, or if you're using the cloud, you share it with a coworker to proofread, you won't be in the wrong, okay, if you're told that it never happened, because you have a proof of delivery or acceptance of that file. And it's really important that you have those things sometimes. You can go back and show where the email was sent, if you sent it via an email, or the share request was sent. If you used physical paper, well, we all know it could get lost or damaged, or never even make it into the hands or the eyes of your recipient. You know, that happens sometimes too. We're human, we lose things. So you cover yourself for errors better, really, when you're using a digital footprint that can be traced and tracked. Let's go on to the next one. Is one of my favorites is that you're easily organized. You don't have paper everywhere. You can stay neat, cleaner. Everything can look less cluttered. The fact is, I can type out a paragraph and make it perfect, right? Even if it takes me 50 backspaces or I'm using autocorrect. If I'm making those types of mistakes on physical paper, then I've created a real messy layout. Before we throw all the paper in the world into the recycling bin, let's look at the question from a different perspective, okay? Before you set out to write a piece of content, do you consider the end goal? What I mean is, are you attempting to get the most out of the lecturer or speaker you're listening to by retaining information? Are you attempting to unlock some kind of creativity from writing? Perhaps the document you write serves to help you think a little deeper and more intentionally. Well, guess what? All of those efforts are strengthened by physically writing rather than digitally writing. It is well known that writing something out by hand increases your critical thinking skills. So your brain becomes sharper, okay, if you're taking notes by hand, because you're actually thinking of the most valuable information that you're listening to from whoever's talking, and you're processing that and you're thinking, okay, is this important to remember? Let me write it out. Rather than transferring everything that they're saying and just typing it out, and you're not really thinking about what's the best piece of information that can help you. You're thinking of just copying, pasting. Okay? So writing it out enhances your brain's ability to look and to lock and all of the valuable nuggets of information that you're hearing. Your creative juices begin to flow once you can physically handwrite something out.
Free shipping. The podcast would like to invite you to discover Wilson's Office Supply, Huntsville, Alabama's preferred business supplier since 1989. Use the code SWITCH at checkout to receive 20% off of your first order of $75 or more. Go to wilsonsos.com/switch to see how Wilson's changes the way the office supply business is done. Now, back to the show.
Personal office hack.
Would you benefit from a creative-filled, memory-enhanced, thought-boosted day? Well, of course you would. I know I would. So I need all the help I can get. Here's a personal office hack that I think you'll love. Here's what you'll need. You'll need a journal. It doesn't have to be a journal. It could be a diary, a notepad, a junior legal pad, some sort, and a nice pen that you enjoy writing with. My personal favorite is the Pilot G2. It's smooth and I like the 7mm, especially just for note taking and for kind of pleasure writing. Pull out your notebook and pen and then put your thoughts on the paper. They may be good, they may be negative. Write them down. Ask yourself, what's been on my mind as I woke up? You can even write out some of your dreams if they're interesting, good dreams. Or the past couple of days, what's been on your mind, on your heart. Think about those things. Write them out. Begin writing it out and let your brain continue thinking on those things as you do. And if you're into doodling, just let that happen. Let it flow freely and let the creative juices just begin working to warm up your brain for the task at hand that day. And if you get in a routine of writing, it can truly enhance your productivity. One way I do this very exercise is combining it with my personal morning routine of reading through the Bible. I kind of have it a goal this year to finally read it through in a year. So anyways, I have a journaling Bible and I write out directly in my Bible, I write out my notes, which happens to be on the side margin. And it begins to kind of sharpen my brain for the day. Makes me think a certain way, lined up with what I'm writing down, what I'm reading. So just try doing that a few minutes a day. Writing in the morning, note the differences in your day, and see if it's something you'd want to stick with. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Free shipping. I hope you got something good from it, and if not, hopefully we will have something better for you next time. Wishing success for you at the office this week and the weeks to come. Bye-bye.
Free shipping. The podcast has been made available to you by Wilson's Office Supply. Your host is Ryan McAnally. The music featured on Free Shipping is The Broker by Philip P. Morris.